Hey guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connect, a dot, an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description. Alley Cat Creations211 is my website. It's where you can see all the fantastic pyramids, skulls, paintings, commission drawings, and all the fun things that I do there. I also make candles. If you're interested in purchasing anything, please email me as I do everything privately. 3D memberships is the only tier I have on this channel for the moment. And it's a really great way to support the channel. You get free entries into raffles, and I do give away nice pyramids that are $150. 50 to 150. I give away a lot of different things. Paint and sip paintings, gem skulls, all kinds of fun stuff. So each month I do that and all my members get free entries. And I think thus far, almost all of them won something. Maybe. Also, I do oracle readings for the channel member collective. So I kind of fine tune into that collective and the things that they need. So it's a really nice way to give back to the community of people who support me. Um, and I understand if you can't, I get it. I'm one of those people too. I can't do it for everybody. But just nice ways to Amish mindset is to like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like to comment or share anything, that'd be fantastic. Oahspe, as I lose my pen. Chapter 16, Book of S, Daughter of Jehovah. I got to figure out a way to, gonna have to do this. Sorry, guys. My arthritis is activating. So I'm gonna be moving around a lot. And I look like a holy wreck. I've been cleaning and catching up for the entire week that I was doing like 1,000 different things for people. No, don't think I don't mind. I don't. But I'm one person, so everything gets backed up. So making it up today. But I wanted to get this in for all of you. Jehovah just Sorry, guys. I have TMJ, by the way, I think. Chapter 16. God delivereth the four false gods out of the four hells. As said, now was God, Jehovah's Son, master of the whole earth and her heavens. And behold, the era of Cosmon was at hand. The light of the ark had fallen on the throne of God. Jehovah's Orion chiefs from the emancipated heavens had come. Paradise was like a new kingdom. 1,000,000,000 Ethereans had arrived to labor with God in clearing away the hells of the lower heavens. And in providing for opening the gates of the heavens for the angels to appear unto mortals. Metahazi, goddess of Elthad, in the roads of Lu, in Etheria, had brought back the armies of the Inquisitions. Avi, maybe, goddess of the Lutian swamps in Wasato plains in Etheria, was there, with massacred of Brogan god, Montesian goddess of Tuisa was there, with the persecutors of Zarathustra, nor Worthchesia, goddess of the forest Anidia in Etheria, was there with the persecutors of Brahma, the pure and true, and the persecutors of Moses and Calliope. Besides these, there were 46 other goddesses, each with a host of angels who had the ancient times striven against Jehovah in favor of some false god. But now in the coming of Cosman, behold, they return as pure and exalted gods and goddesses. And God, Jehovah's Son, called forth all these one-time persecutors, and he said unto them, Behold, there are 4 great hells and 6 smaller hells and 14 still smaller hells still existing in these lower heavens. Since ye were once cast into hells and afterward delivered by the angels of Jehovah, go ye now and deliver the hells of these heavens, and bring ye the chief false gods before me. My marshals will allot you to the respective places I have appointed unto you. Then went forth the gods and goddesses as appointed by God to deliver the 24 hells of the heavens of the earth. And they took with them unto this labor 6,000 million angel laborers were skilled in such matters. And in 34 days the hells were delivered, broken up and gone. From these hells there were thus delivered more than 70,000 million angels, who were carried to the plateau prepared for them by Jehovah's Son. And God had also provided unto them in their new heavenly place divisions and subdivisions with generals, captains, overseers, and such other officers, necessary to prevent them running into knots and hells again. Of the false gods and goddesses thus delivered and brought before God in paradise for judgment, the chiefs of them were Azaroth, Dagon, Ashdod, Yotmas, Sathis, Goloth, Plutoya, Itis, Hamgad, Moak, Hor, Baal, Nochisia, Kabalactes, Gabriel, and Louis among. Besides these were 70 other false gods and goddesses delivered, but who were not brought before the throne of God, but were sent to hospitals because they were in chaos. God had previously provided paradise through his holy council for the time of the judgment of the false gods that were brought before him. So the holy councils were formed in crescent, so that the throne of God laid betwixt the horns thereof in order to promote the voice. The marshals then brought the false gods and goddesses into the arena of circle, where the light should fall upon them. Jehovah judgeth the false gods and goddesses. As said, the voice spake out of the light over the throne and of God, saying, Because I admonish both earth and heaven, saying, Whoso setteth up more than the I am shall be bound, and whoso hearkeneth unto them and runneth after them shall be bound unto them. And they heeded not my commandments, but made worshipful other gods than me. So shall they reap the harvest they have sown. Because they drew the sword to establish themselves, they were bound by the sword. Because they took upon themselves heavenly kingdoms, I bound them thereunto. Because they professed salvation in the names of the false gods, I let them run their course, and lo and behold, they have shown no salvation in earth or heaven. They have built up kingdom against kingdom, standing army against standing army. Verily, they brought judgment upon themselves. Hear the words, O Jehovah, O ye false gods and goddesses, who set up heavenly kingdoms against me, who slew hundreds of millions of mortals, in order to make other names than mine worshipful on earth and in the heavens thereof. Ye who cried out falsely, Behold me, I am the light and the life. Through me is the way of salvation. Ye who have used your names to lead mortals and angels away from the Creator, saying of yourselves, Behold me, I am the Lord, I am God, my heavenly place is the all highest. Behold, I had spoken in the olden times, I had said, Whoso aspireth to be king of the earth, or queen, or emperor, or ruler over a nation or people, I give to him his desire. He shall be bound with the people of his administration. Neither shall he rise to my emancipated heavens till he hath carried up with him every soul that he domined over. But he shall be bound unto the people in the first and second resurrection, until even the lowest of them are raised in wisdom, virtue, and good works. sufficient for the greater brides and bridegrooms to my ethereal realms. And if a king stretch forth his arms to subdue and annex other countries unto his own, suffer thou him to do so, for he is magnifying his bondage for the resurrection of the low. And thou shalt apply these rules unto all earthly rulers, be thy kings or queens or emperors or presidents or governors or legislators or judges or popes or priests or preachers, or whosoever presumeth to rule over or to lead or exact servitude from others. And the term of the bondage unto them in the lower heavens shall be proportioned to the magnitude of their dominions. But to whomsoever obtained dominion by the sword, or extendeth dominion by the sword, and by blood and death, his bondage shall be 100-fold. And whosoever maintaineth his dominion by standing armies, thou shalt compute the number thereof, and to him and his high officers the bondage in the lowest heaven shall be equal to 10 times the number of soldiers, thereof 10 times the number of years of the servitude of the magnitude of his armies. For whosoever taketh my people for his own glory or dominion shall render unto me the just value. Whosoever engageth in war, or leadeth in war, or is a captain, or a general, and causeth the death of whom I created alive, he shall not rise to inherit my emancipated heavens, as long as there remaineth war upon the earth. But he shall toil in the lowest heavens of the earth, to educate and rise up the Judras thereof, which shall be his labor. And whoso hath great riches and many servants, his resurrection shall be no faster than the resurrection of those that serve him. And whoso hath great riches and yet no servants, but liveth for himself, thou shalt apportion his place in the first resurrection, even according to the good he might have done. Had he obeyed my commandments, and he shall do in heaven what he neglected to do on earth, and he shall not rise to my emancipated heavens until hath appropriated according to that which I gave him into his keeping. God said, the words that come out of man's mouth, even though they profess prayers and repentance, are of little avail for Jehovah, but the words that come out of good works, done unto others to raise them up, are as the sound of a trumpet that reacheth beyond the stars. For in all ages of the world there have been deceivers and hypocrites, with temples and churches to worship in, professing to serve the Creator, but in fact serving an idol. I'm going to pause because I need that. That's a good one. Good one. And their priests and preachers speak good doctrines, but they practice them not, save a little, as a blind to lead the multitude astray. And they live in fine houses and fare some I don't know how to say that word. And that's not projecting out of my mouth anyway. Every day, and are skilled in oratory and doctoral precepts, but they will not go and serve the poor, teaching them how to live. Again, the voice spake, saying, my judgments are upon those that profess me, dealing out their pittance to the poor, while they themselves live above want. When such men die and enter the first resurrection, they shall be handed over to those that are in the darkness, and their bondage shall be 100-fold. For they preach words of righteousness with the mouth, but in their behavior they laid their foundation for the kingdom of hypocrisy. Verily I give unto them the harvest that cometh of their own sowing. These then have been my doctrines since thousands of years, and known unto you before ye deserted my kingdoms. If such then be my judgments unto mortals who serve false gods, how much greater then must be the penalty upon the false gods who set themselves up to establish these iniquities? Hear ye then the judgment of Jehovah. Whosoever hath established the name of any god but the Creator, and made it worshipful on earth or in the heaven, shall be bound in the first resurrection till that name is no longer worshipful on earth or in heaven. And whatever god or goddess have said, come unto me, ye that are heavenly laden, and I will give you rest, for I am the way of salvation and of light and of everlasting life. Then the god and the goddess shall be bound in the first resurrection as long as mortals or angels go unto him or her. Behold, such a God called, and they answered unto him. So do I give unto both the God and the calleth, and the subject that runneth unto him, for I give liberty even unto my enemies. But when I subject, go, if, to a God, and say, if, behold, thou hast said, whither I go, I will call all men unto me, and I believe in thee. Then the God shall not put him away. Whilst Osiris was worshipped, I gave unto Osiris the false. Whilst Azeroth was worshipped, I gave unto her. Whilst Baal was worshipped, I gave unto Baal. But when any of these gods were no longer worshipped, behold, I gave them no more subjects. As long as Brahma is worshipped, I gave unto him who is before me. As long as Buddha is worshipped, I will give unto him who is before me. As long as Christ is worshipped, I give unto him who is before me. As long as Mohammedans are upheld on the earth, I will give unto him who built up Muhammad. And when all of you have purified and raised up all those who idolize you, in that same time will I rise you up to higher heavens also. As said, and now when the voice ceased, and all was still, the false gods and goddesses raised up their heads, and they spake with one voice, saying, Thou art just, O Jehovah, unto thee do I now covenant that I will serve thee forever. Neither will I aspire to rise to higher heavens till I have raised up all whom I have led astray. Make me strong, O Jehovah, in this my everlasting covenant. Teach me, O Father, the labor I should do, that thou shalt be glorified forever. Thus ended the judgment. God's marshals removed them to the places allotted for them, and they went to work. S said such, then, was the fate of the chief false gods in the lower heavens. But during the last 300 or 400 years, many of the officers of these false gods had succeeded from them and had set up small heavenly kingdoms of their own, and their mortal followers were called sects. These little heavens were, for the most part, situated on the earth, and usually these small gods inhabited the churches where mortals came to worship. And the preachers within these churches fell under the inspiration of these itinerant gods and their gangs of wandering spirits. In Gautama, these inspirations were carried to such an extent by the Drugian gods that the mortals of one sect were made hostile of one sect against another. An enmity, therefore, existed betwixt Protestants and Catholics, and betwixt Protestants themselves, and betwixt all of these and the Jews. And not only on earth betwixt mortals did these things take place, but these petty gods had small kingdoms of their own, as a Presbyterian heaven, a Methodist heaven, a Baptist heaven, and so on. And when a mortal member died, his spirit fell into his heaven, where he had lived, becoming a servant to these Trujas. And when he cried out, I want to go to Jesus, I want to go to Christ, he was shown the Drugian god and told that is he, which he would believe to be true. For what is bound on earth is bound in heaven. A Drugian god, Piad, established a sect named a Mormon, and he located his kingdom on earth with his mortal followers, and he became the master over the spirits of his mortal followers, in the same way calling himself the true Christ. Piad taught that all good Mormons would ultimately obtain to rule over some planet in her heavens, but he never permitted the angels of his kingdom to go out of his reach. He also taught mortals that the more numerous progeny a man begot, the greater would he be in his heavenly kingdom. In time to come, for this was Piad's scheme, to make his own heavenly kingdom large and powerful. Another Drugian god, Loguanus, established a kingdom on earth and named it Shekar, heaven, pretending he was the true Christ, and his place became a heavenly bondage unto himself. Another Drugian god, Sayawen, I'm totally butchering that, established a heavenly kingdom on earth and called it the all highest heaven. This Lord called himself the Lord. He raised up a mortal Swedenborg, whom he took in spirit subjectively into many of the lowest heavens and hell, saying to him, behold, they that serve not the Lord, how hard it is with them. And he further said, this place of darkness is the Brahmin heaven. That place of darkness is the Buddhist heaven. But this place of light is my heaven. I am the Lord. Thus did the Drugian god establish a Swedenborg heaven, and mortals looked upon him as the true Christ, and after death, their souls went thither. So it came to pass, as had been prophesied of old, lo, Christ here, lo, Christ there. And as it was with Louis amongst heavenly kingdoms, this split into hundreds of remnants, even so was it with the heavenly kingdoms of other false gods, Brahma the false, Buddha the false. So there were on heaven thousands of petty gods, heavenly kingdoms of darkness and misery. Now all of these Drugian gods, whether of Shinya or Vinu or Ravenya or Europa or Gautama, rejected Jehovah, but took the name of some one of the four false gods and protested that he himself was the real true God and Savior. The mortal sects that followed them did the same thing. The Presbyterian professed the true Christ, but denounced all others as false. The Methodists professed the true Christ, but denounced all others as false. The Mormon professed the true Christ, but denounced all others. The Roman Catholics also professed the true Christ, but denounced all others as false. Even so was it with all of them, and none of them practiced righteousness and good works, but were warriors and money getters for this self's sake. I gotta say, there's that this section right here, spot on. So as much as there's a lot of things in here I don't agree with, this is totally something I do. God had said, behold, I give a new testimony unto the nations of the earth. In time I overcame and cast out the four heads of the beast. The acrimony existing between different sects began suddenly to die out, and they spake friendly to one another. And so it was the dawn of Cosmin. As said now, whilst the Holy Council was still sitting in paradise, a light like a star came and stood above the throne of God, and the voice came out of the light, saying, behold, the false gods are cast out and sent unto their places. Nevermore shall there be any other false god or Lord or Savior to lead my people away. I am sufficient unto my own creation. Let this therefore be the beginning of the Cosmon era. My people have settled the whole earth around from east to west. The lands on the west borders of Gautama have become inhabited. Go then, my God, my son, open the gates of heaven unto mortals. Let my angels meet them and talk with them face to face. Behold, my Ethereum ambassadors, she, Sivi, and thoughts, something like that, cometh in a sea of fire. The ship of the Etherean goddess was seen descending from the higher heavens, coming as an open ring to embrace the whole earth. Again the voice spake out of the light, saying, I know no distinctions of men, of races or sects, or doctrines or past revelations. All people are my people. Open the gates of heaven, let my angels speak to mortals. Swifter and swifter came the Etherean archangels, till all the heavens of paradise were encircled in the love of the Almighty. Then God called out the legions who had matter in charge, where mortals had been born in the work of Jehovah's kingdom. And God said, open the gates of heaven, let the angels of Jehovah speak with mortals. The time of the Father's kingdom is at hand. Open the gates of heaven, let the angels come forth in power. And in Hidsville, in Gautama, on the earth, the angels opened the door in Jehovah's name, to be not closed again forever and ever. Jehovah's overthroweth slavery in Guatemala. As said in the olden times and in the eastern countries, Jehovah began his revelations. The western continent he left for the finishing thereof. Now when God looked overbroad over Guatemala, he saw 4 million people in bondage as slaves, and he saw that they must be liberated. And so God inquired of the chief mathematician in the Holy Council, one Arak, saying, who of all the kings of earth have had the greatest number of slaves? And Arak said, Xerxes, who dwelleth in Yopefga in Atmospheria. God said, send thou a heavenly ship for him and for 1,000 million of his angels, and send also for the Argosian Leonidas, and for 1,000 million of his angels. And when they are brought here, they shall descend to the earth to those barbarians and liberate their slaves. That theme has been popping up. You see, the theme has been popping up all day. Because I noted 300, the movie earlier, and now it's popped up twice in other places. Arak saluted and departed, giving his instructions to the heavenly marshals, who at once sent ships and messengers as directed. God then said, I will now recall the Ashars who hold guard over these mortals, and for a season they shall dwell in Drujan darkness. And this was accomplished, and straightway a war ensued betwixt the owners of the slaves and the neighboring states. Then came the gods and angels high in the grades to witness the play of mortal death, and to determine how best to win to liberty and to Jehovah the inhabitants of the great land. God had said, it is an easy matter to win in war, but to make mortals see the triumph of righteousness is not so easy. Therefore be discreet in approaching testimony unto Jehovah. And there rose up 2 million men in arms, pushing on in war on every side, coursing the rich soil in mortal blood. And neither side had defined its principles or taken stand for righteousness' sake, but went on in fearful destruction, laying in death tens of thousands and tens of thousands. Jehovah said, send thou thy Parisian and Argosian angels down to these mortals, and by inspiration and by dreams, by visions, thy angel shall say to them, whoso professeth the earth shall battle in vain, but whoso professeth righteousness in my name shall win. And millions of angels descended and tried to persuade them, but mortals would not hear. Even the chief general on liberty's side closed his soul against Jehovah, himself enforced slavery with his mighty army. And years went on, and all the people began to perceive that without righteousness there would be no end to war. Jehovah said, only death can reach these people or make them behold my hand. Yet thou shalt send thy angel hosts over all the north regions and inspire them to call out for liberty. Then went forth Xerxes and Leonidas with their 2,000 million angels to overspread the north, to inspire mortals to more heavenly stand, to make them see justice and liberty. And for 100 days these angels dwelt with mortals, but many mortals were too gross in the earth to comprehend. Then Xerxes came to New York and took hence the guardian angels, those of holiness, and he left the city in the hand of Drudras. And at once, how the hell did they know that was new? I'm what? Confused. Confused. It says it right here, New York, Xerxes. Xerxes. We know who Xerxes and Leonidas is. How the hell was New York even a name? It wasn't fashioned until what? Make this make sense? And once the city was plunged in hell. And the people were as mad people, wild and fearful. I could say that could be true for the now moment. And Jehovah spake in the holy council in heaven, saying, Let my angels go once more and inspire mortals to raise to the light of my will. Again, the angels overran the land, inspiring mortals day and night to demand freedom for their slaves. And the ambassadress of Jehovah said to her inspiring hosts of angels, Number ye the mortals north and south as to their majority voice for freedom. Now, when the gods numbered the mortals and graded them, they discovered the majority had turned to freedom's side. Jehovah said to his ambassadoress, Take thy own inspiring host and go down to the earth to Washington to the president and hold this matter up to him that he may understand me. For he is not bound in doctrines, for which reason my angels made him president, and for this purpose which I have in hand. Okay, in what timeline delineation of time space do we go from Greek and Roman battling it out, even though it's Persian, Xerxes Persian, to a New York and Washington and presidents when both those timelines did not exist at the same time together? Make this make sense? Ancient times merging with 1800s, 1700s. Does it make sense? And it shall come to pass that the president will hear thee, and he shall resolve in his own mind unto freedom for the slaves. So we're talking Lincoln. But he will seek for some external sign, fearing he may have mistaken the angels that ministered unto him. But I will provide a way for this end also. And the angels of Jehovah went to the president in a vision like a dream, and they called unto him, and he answered and said, Who art thou? And the angel said, Such as come in Jehovah's name for freedom's sake. Behold, millions of his angels look down from heaven and would come to thy armies. If thou wouldest but proclaim freedom to the slaves, Jehovah's hand is in this matter. The president awoke and was troubled with his dream. The next night the angels came again and retold their words and added thereunto, The great majority of the country is ripe for this matter. Thou fearest this is but a foolish dream. Behold, we will give thee proof tomorrow. The president awoke more troubled than before, but remembered the angel said, He will give thee proof tomorrow. Jehovah said, I will make this matter a testimony to this nation, so that no man may gainsay it. And I will show also how my angels work singularly in mighty legions. Now at the time there was a living in Washington a seeress, through which spirits spake in her entrancement. And on the day mentioned, the angel spake through her, saying, Go and fetch the president into the presence of this woman. And the president was told what was said. And when the president came before the seeress, the angel of Jehovah entranced her and said unto him, We said we would give thee proof tomorrow. Behold, we repeat unto thee, Jehovah is in this matter. Save thou proclaimest the freedom of the slaves, thou shalt not succeed. Do thou this, and the enemy's army shall melt away like snow in the sun. The president's eyes were open, and he went straight away and proclaimed freedom to the whole 4 million slaves. Xerxes said to Leonidas, Thou great conqueror, thou shalt conquer me. Take thy 1,000,000,000 angels and go with the armies of the north and inspire them on to victory. Give them such strength and courage as they have not before manifested. And as for myself and my hosts, we will go to the armies of the south, and we will inspire them to believe they are conquered, and so make them flee before thy soldiers. Okay, so what I'm trying to, like, now that I get it, okay. So all the way back when is now in angel form, coming and assuming identity on Ethereum, playing for the armies of America. Great. as we are really in the Greek and Roman epoch we got to destroy. The slaves are free. Jehovah said, let this be a testimony that this land is the place of the beginning of the Cosmon era. Thou shalt be no caste among my people. Behold, I went to the Israelites, and in that day I said, keep yourselves as a separate people. Oh, Jake, he would love that. And for I had work for them, which was travel westward and establish me the all one. And they came westward and fulfilled my commandments. Therefore I have blessed them. And I went to Sheenia and I said, let the followers of Sheen keep themselves as the exclusive people, for I have a work for them, which was to establish me the all one and to demonstrate the most numerous people in all the world united as one people peacefully. And they have accomplished their work, and I bless them. And I went to Venue also and established a mighty people with a multiplicity of gods and languages. For I had a work for them to do, which was to preserve my revelations of some of the divisions in my heavens above, and to prove in after time things which I have revealed to the ancients. They have accomplished their work also, and I have blessed them. But in this era, I come not to an exclusive people, but to a combination of all peoples commingling together as one people. Hence I call this the Cosmon era. Henceforth my chosen shall be of the amalgamated races who choose me, and these shall become the best, most perfect of all peoples on the earth. And they shall not consider race or color, but health and nobleness as to the mortal part, and as to spirit, peace, love, wisdom, and good works, and one great spirit only. Leonidas said to Xerxes, it will be revealed ere long that we have been here with our angel hosts. As a testimony of this, let us allow a number of our angels to remain a season with mortals, and they shall inspire them to athletic sports peculiar to the Argosians and Parisians. To this Xerxes consented, and they asked for 600,000 angel volunteers, and they received them and officered them and distributed them in such way that their inspiration shall develop mortals in health, strength, and endurance by means of athletic games. And it came to pass that the angels of heaven established athletic games amongst these people far and near. Jehovah said, even in this shall man behold the cause of causes, which lieth behind all things done on the earth. And man search as to the cause of all these things, and try to persuade himself of any cause but the true one. Jehovah said, I will show these people that the chief causes of great affairs amongst mortals come from the angels of my heavens. I come to Cosma not to free only the corporal man, but a spiritual man. I raise my hand against a God being founded in their constitution. Neither will I have them to fight battles for me. The past is past. Angels and mortals shall be free. And I'm going to leave it there. Very interesting there. Why would they pick that? I don't know. Um, I mean, we know the story of Xerxes and Leonidas, but it did like New York, Washington, like timelines, it doesn't make sense. But then it started making sense when they're already transcended and they're coming down and helping. Great. But I mean, there's a many of other armies and wars that they could have chose from. Interesting. Anywho, sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Be the shoulder, be the lighthouse, seed your truth. I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and light the path forward. See you in the next one. Bye for now.